Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds, welcoming you back to Lovecraft Country and the Secret World Legends Interludes, and we're here in the South African Morninglight compound, and yes, as you can see, it's a lovely place, truly the paradise that the cult brings it out to be. Yeah, it's actually mentioned by the bees that the gates and the community look a lot different than they do in the brochure. I mean, you can be out there in Seoul or New York seeing about this wonderful place where you're around other people who want to ascend to the light, and it's really not much more than a labor camp. As most cults turn out to be, by the way. As you can see, they have level 50 guards. Think about that for a second. These guys are the equivalent of an advanced bee in combat, and since they're purely human, they must be equivalent to special forces. And these guys are just here to make sure that a bunch of unarmed civilians don't leave. Yeah, there's an old rule, by the way, about whether or not you're in a cult. The first rule you ask if the door is locked. And as you can see, the doors are very locked. What's interesting, by the way, is that COVID, the lockdown, kind of stretched that meaning of that out a bit. People are locked down in this room and they have connection to the internet, so it's kind of like being indoctrinated in your living room. Anyways, so yeah, this is kind of interesting, by the way. I found it when I was booting up, is that apparently one of the foundlings tries to get out, and they have a repeating loop of dialogue. Of course, while I'm standing here, they won't be doing it, but dude, eyes off me. Anyways, but as you can see, these wonderful carved wooden doors which show you basically a bunch of mythological stuff that's designed to make you feel really happy. But in any case, we all know that the whole purpose of the Morninglight cult is to produce low-rent agents for Philip Merquad's Little Dreamer cult here. Now, as you can see off to the side, quality is kind of low. Why, of course, the walls themselves are lovely constructed of concrete to prevent anybody from coming out through, as well as these wonderful guard towers, which you notice are looking inward, not outward, as this is a prison. So you end up with, yes, essentially a labor camp, which is kind of hilarious how they actually frame it, because they will have magic points, like the little scanner right here to remind you where you are.
Checking for current point total. You are a foundling.
26 points. That's how much I got before I cheated. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get away from this, guys. The idle conversation can be a bit annoying. But yeah, as you can see, you have essentially your third world slum corrugated metal paradise here. Can you imagine this place doesn't have, well, actually, I've actually wondered about that. It appears to have running water, which means there's plumbing, which means they put more money into the plumbing than they did the actual construction. Now I can see why, because human waste will kill untreated will kill a population faster than you can imagine. Diphtheria, fecal chloroforms, cholera, all those lovely things can happen in contaminated water supplies. So although we haven't actually seen any bathrooms yet. Oh god, there must be outhouses somewhere. Anyways, as you can see, people will try to spruce up the place with little bits and pieces and touches, but yeah, when you come right down to it, it's pretty much a shithole. I mean, I worked a particularly bad job at a very bad resort in Florida, which the employee housing was okay, better than this, but it had the same sort of depressing prison camp feel. Alright, dude, what are you doing back here? I see you. You like the young ones, huh? Using your position of authority. That's pretty much how it works in most of these cases. Once you get a little bit of power, you abuse it for yourself. Nah, there they are, doing the work. Yeah, let's keep this slum clean, people. Which ironically is a big thing. Remember one of the primary attacks they give us during the fight for the light. Yeah, there we go. Brainwashing for a martial, to be a martial, expendable martial asset, aka a suicide terrorist. Yeah, this is all the messes that we have. They are actually, I've always wondered, why do they have the televisions? There's no cell signals, and we know that the magic giant and the research center is blocking all transmissions, so I guess there's a gaming console around here, which I don't think they allow. Not really much point to it. But as you can see, yeah, you can't let this filth lie around, because in Africa, the wildlife is freaking aggressive. There was someone who, when I was in school, one of my teachers had gone to Africa, and they brought their a niece and a nephew, and they were out in the bush a bit, and they were told, you know, take all the food, seal it up, put it up on the section so that the animals can't get to it. And the kids were hid a chocolate bar. So middle of the night, they're like here screaming at the kids that run in, and there's like ants over every surface aggressively attacking because they smelled that chocolate from miles away, and every colony showed up to get it. So yeah, hygiene's important, especially when you're this cramped. But as you can see, let's see, hello, this isn't my place. Books. That's ironic. That resort, the only thing they had for entertainment was books.
Hey.
I always wonder, they probably just, you know, run in, grab a... Where's mine? All right. They run in, they just grab a bunch of stuff from a used bookstore, I guess. As you can see, this is the one that we're assigned to. Anyways, I never know if we get a... get our roommate up there for the... take the top bunk, but I always prefer the bottom bunk. I'm a restless sleeper. But as you can see, they have an indoctrination group here where you can look at the guide, you can see that, and you can look upon the wonderful... No one's cleaned this window, has I? Alright, wonderful world that the being part of the Morninglight has opened up. But yeah, now I'm surprised...
You're anointed? I'm so jealous.
Does it like... Oh, right, because I'm not wearing the outfit. Yeah, I forgot to mention. The season of Halloween is continuing here, and this is sort of my urban werewolf look. Kind of like it. Kind of like Teen Wolf with an assault rifle. But as you can see, the cult is ever expanding, and they're taking use... Well, they would be. Taking use of the labor to build even more facilities. It becomes kind of viral at a point here. Yeah, if you ever see anybody who leans on walls or vehicles like this, yeah, they've done some serious outside work, because you're not allowed to lie down or sit. So the only way you can actually get any form of rest is to lean against something. Yes, I did that myself. I just did a lot of work out in the field, as well as farming, as well as a lot of weird other stuff. Anyway, so yes, one of the things that I did like about this, the verisimilitude, is I do have the garage. Now, if you're not in a first world nation in place where you can essentially just get parts off the shelf and install them in the car the next day, we are going to be continuously recycling old wrecks. Yeah, when I was down in Mexico, for example, they had large junk piles just inside these yards, just full of chassis. Now, a lot of times they'll buy the chassis from America. They use stuff that you turned in to get your next car, ship it off here for whatever the money they can get for it, and then, you know, it ends up as part of some combination rig in a second world country that's working a farm or driving down a one-lane road. But by the way, in case you don't notice, that is the flag to South Africa. You know, we've apparently got a couple of nationalists here. Anyways, that warehouse over there, by the way, is of course the one where the Agartha portal appears. Now, the thing is about that is the Agartha portal appears, which means there wasn't one before. The only connection to the Agartha was that nexus point over there that we found behind the garage. Now, you'll notice, by the way, that Gaia is not stupid. She's placing her access points out of sight and main motion of most people. Therefore, less likely for somebody sensitive to stumble upon them, because the last thing we need to do is give the Dreamers yet another access point. Ah, yes, containers. Surprised. You know, I'm willing to bet when they first got here, the first foundlings had to use the containers for, in order to, survive. Yeah, this is, by the way, is the equipment that's set up by the bounty hunter that makes a very bad pass at trying to kill you. And I'm not entirely sure why you bother to have fences with holes this large. Anyways. Yes, the pristine vans, of course, which are all taken care of at the facilities over there when we get to the anointed section. And as you can see... Oh, gods, I'm going to start setting things on fire. I don't know what it is about false cheerfulness. I mean, if a person is surly and grunts at me, I'm kind of happier with that, because at least they're being honest about what they say. But either A, these guys are all fake, or they're this brainwashed. Now, where is Riley? He's around here somewhere. Let's go find the other B.
I'm so jealous. Be the change.
Now, the thing is, I'm actually of the opinion they may be trying to form me a primitive group mind. Not just because they only have so many lines of that, but if you recall... Okay, Riley, where are you? You said you were across the way. If it takes me a second to locate him, I'll merge it into that point. But I thought I saw him kicking outside one of these buildings, but apparently no. All right. Ah, there you are. Hey, what's up, Riley? Yeah, I'm actually kind of wondering how the bees picked this slacker. I mean, he's not even getting points. I suspect he thought he'd show up as a bee and just get the special treatment. Apparently, nope. everybody has to work their way up, or, you know, cheat like me. Not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either. Get it?
All those secret organizations trying to control the world. Just sad little kids lording over sad little sandcastles.
What? The hell? What do you think you're doing here, dude? Part of some sort of liberation front?
This is the real game. The real stakes, you know what I mean? You and me, we wised up. And now we're here.
Yeah. You've got a shack in a labor camp. You're moving up in the world. Frankly, you know, it's just kind of strange, by the way, because the bees don't technically need a place to live. We don't really have one once we lose the apartment in the prologue, but I'd imagine if I wanted someplace to kick it, and the Illuminati would have at least a decent Manhattan apartment for me, or whatever city I wanted to be in.
The compound don't look like much, but this is the only game board that matters.
Keep telling yourself that. Dude, I don't like deserters.
When I first woke up, got my power, people came. They showed me this new world. The one on top of the crummy old world.
Mm-hmm.
But what they revealed, that's just so much pops and bangs, you know what I mean? It's distractions. It's nothing compared to what Picard is tapped into.
Right, let's talk about that for 1 second. The idea that the Picard is tapped into a deeper primal force is technically correct. If you remember the game lore, and I mentioned it over the series a few times, the power of the Gaia engines that creates the actual physical world and reality is due to the fact that the host trapped the dreamers, the eldritch abominations that existed before time, within them and direct their energies to create it. And essentially every crisis point between ages, or this one which will not turn out to be an age, we'll actually manage to avoid this one, is when they start breaking free of the restraints. So he is stating that, yeah, Markar's into the deep stuff, except for one thing, kid. You can't exist without a physical reality. If the dreamers get out, they devour everything, including you. So not entirely sure what bennies you're looking for here.
We are going to be opened up to such vistas. I'm ready.
Yeah, serious amount of, you know, Kool-Aid there.
You know, I hope I get to meet Sonic again. Melt his pretty face. Bloody punts always sent me out doing his dirty work, do you know what I mean?
Actually, I'd stop you from doing that. I'm not even my faction, and I like it better than you.
His bee-stung weapon. That's what I was. That's all we are to him. He just covers up the ugly bits with pretty words like autumn leaves over a corpse.
Yeah, that's right. The bees are the living weapons of Gaia. And what were you expecting? I mean, seriously, what do these bees that sell out actually expect to get out of it? I mean, even the Oriachi ones, I assume, have a decent benefit package and department as well. But the idea that you're just supposed to be handed something, you were given a massive amount of power to Gaia to do a purpose, and apparently she must be bloodline related, because you could not possibly have gotten this out of merit.
I got away. Popped a few Templar brothers on the way out, do you know what I mean? Here I am. The work's still dirty, but the purpose is pure.
Oh, so you killed your own brothers in arms. I like you less.
That's how they work. The reds and blues and greens, they swoop in before you're fully awake. They make you think there's just 3 choices for those like us.
Well, that's kind of how the game works. I mean, they couldn't actually put an Orienchi branch in without seriously rewriting stuff. I've always said about the game is that technically the path you're on is just one of many. You see bees running in and out, and from your point of view, they're doing other tasks for Gaia. From their point of view, when they're playing, you're doing the one doing other tasks, and they're on the main path. But there has been speech on the forum about where should be a 4th one for Oriachi. I don't think anybody's actually seriously wanted a Morninglight one. But, yeah, that's not really going to be a thing, considering how little they've been adapting this this game so far. I mean, updating this game so far.
But we're gods. We're gods in the fucking cocoon. And anything is possible, do you know what I mean? Anything. That's truth on a plate, mate.
Yeah, I do believe that we are, in fact, divine beings being developed and supercharged by the bees to do so. Like I might do a video on that sometime. But the thing is, Riley, you got your power at a price. Gaia gave it to you. Pretty fucking sure she can take it away. Yeah, that'd be one of the things that we really want to get into is why doesn't Gaia cut these loose? Now the Dreamers, I think, can technically empower in place of Gaia, which is what happens if you...
Anointed.
Oof. It's like everybody's busy. Yeah, I'm just looking around. There's another person to talk to, and I thought I had their position locked down over here. But, like I said, if I'm wrong, I'll just skip ahead. But yeah, the thing is that it's, since, of course, all power stems from the Dreamers... Dude, don't, like, troll me that way. Since all power stems from the Dreamers, they could replicate any of Gaia's abilities, you know, empower the bees on their own. And when you take the gifts from them at the end of each main section, you're essentially doing that. You're disconnecting from Gaia and connecting to the dream realms. And some people think that, oh yes, we're freeing ourselves from the oppression of... Yeah, there is Namstra. All right. I'm not entirely sure why she's here, what we're looking for, but she looks terribly stressed. But yeah, you're connecting to the Dreamers, but again, you're going to end up just a blob with tentacles and gibbering mouths and forget who the hell you ever were. Why, at least Gaia at least keeps your original form. All right. Tell me about yourself, Numsa? Numsa?
Me? Me? I am no one. It comes in the night. It takes me away. Takes me away in ragged strips.
Okay, somebody's having visitations.
I am not me anymore. Where'd I go?
Right, this may actually be part of something I'm going to touch on in a moment.
They took me in. I thought I'd be safe here. Nowhere is safe. What's happening to me?
Honestly, I'd love to know, but I don't think there's a plot line that goes in that direction. She's obviously not well, given the condition of this place, and we're not supposed to do so. But yeah, if you remember when we do the Wrath of the Dawn mission where the sky becomes a dreamer sky, this entire section right here is literally on the edge of the dreamer's realm. Everyone here is slowly getting devoured, slowly being transformed, slowly being exposed to the energies of the dreamers. And like I said, that's creating the group mind I was talking about. Almost. That's creating the group mind I was talking about. The idea that all of these beings are being joined together into the dreamer's own... Oh god, this brings back memories. Yeah. You ever see a place with bad drainage like this? It's because the facilities are leaking. God, I don't want to trace that stuff. I mean, the thing is, while this would commonly just be shit in most scenarios, this could... Yep, there it is. Could in fact be filth. And yeah, this is an open sewer, literally. And that's the thing. I thought that was mattresses. That's a lot of stuff you're going to find. Plus, you know, the buried cars. Why do you have the cars buried here? Why do you do that? I mean, just tear apart the pieces and use the metal for, like, fences and stuff. I mean, at a certain point, I honestly swear it's because majority of these people who've come from first world country, they have no idea. Oh, God, no. Not dealing with that old guy quite yet. Anyways, yeah, I just think that they're so used to having other people take away their garbage that they just leave it everywhere, which is why there's at least one mission to picking up everybody else's garbage. Yeah, give me a second. Pop up. Sorry about that. That tends to disrupt my view when it comes over the screen like that. But yeah, here's the pavilion where the programming central.
We welcome you.
You can't even get backs for this thing.
A stranger comes in from the darkness to walk among the chosen and feast upon a banquet of light, and to be a stranger no longer,
as you can see,
but one beneath the morning light.
Still. Right. The thing is about this is that this is set up as Amanda, one of my most frequent commenters and an expert on the Secret World lore. You can see her comments, by the way, in individual videos all the time. I recommend checking them out. But in any case, the thing is about this is it resembles a prosperity gospel where they're using the trappings of the, well, evangelical Christian structure, like the pulpit here, the candles, even the flowers, but they're doing completely non-Christian things. The prosperity gospels, for example, what they talk about is the fact that you have... oh, God gives money to the chosen people, which is why rich people... are rich because God loves them, and if God loves you, they'll give you money. So, but in order to do that, you gotta send people like that money.
And to be a stranger no longer.
I'm gonna kill is...
One beneath the morning light.
Now, what's interesting is that you have kind of the combination Catholicism / folk tradition altar sort of thing going on here, especially with the alcohol, where you have the image of devotion here, icons around it of associated faiths, and the devotion here. Now, altars, of course, are supposed to be a center of focus for power and worship, and the actions they go through are a form of ceremonial magic. And hey, if you happen to be watching my Cultist Simulator one, the episode I'm currently doing the script for is going to be on rites, rituals, and how they tie into ceremonial magic. So we'll get to that. It may not be till November, because this is going to be the first time I've done something that's...
Behold, a stranger comes in from the darkness to walk among the chosen and feast upon a banquet of light.
Zill's forgotten his medication.
No longer.
So, and
one beneath the morning light.
now we deal with really charged up powers here with Gaia and such, but the majority of people have to work with, essentially, with their natural gifts with foci to create effect. And here they're using it all to concentrate on the dreamers. And that accumulates bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, you know, drops in a bucket. And eventually they start manifesting. We saw one manifestation of them over the, when they possessed the entire area to try to kill us. Once upon in that mission, Wrath of the Dawn, and then they I'm actually surprised it hasn't got to the point where they attack us zombie-like, or the dreamers realize that being attacked by 50 normies or 1,000 normies isn't going to do much for us. But yeah, now here's the thing about the farms. Okay, so first of all, you'll notice, by the way, that one of the first things you have to do in here is tend the crops, but I want you to take a look around. I know how fast corn grows. I know how much people need. I know, well, first of all, maize is the correct thing to produce instead of corn. Maize is the original version that was used by the indigenous tribes in the Americas. And then but it's very nutritious, but doesn't taste sweet as sweet corn, because sweet corn is essentially genetically modified in the old-fashioned way through crossing strains manually, as opposed to genetic engineering in the common day, to taste better, but it reduces its nutrition. So therefore, I've always considered corn to be more of a garnish, really. In fact, if you go to the bathroom afterward to see how much of it passes through, it's because it's not digestible to your system as well as maize is. And maize, of course, is harder and bitter, but it's better for you. Should, you know, it come down to it and there's crop issues, pick maize. Anyways, now the thing is, you couldn't possibly feed everybody on this stuff. There's money being imported to feed these guys, and frankly, I'd kind of like to know how they're getting fed. They have individual kitchenettes, it seems, but there must be a food delivery system. But as you can see, if you recall, when I came in, I am directed by the game to try to steal somebody else's pickings and then beat them up when they do so. But the fact that nobody, including, you know, this authority overlooking it right here and a bunch of guys with guns over there, did absolutely nothing to stop me, kind of shows you we're in a Lord of the Flies scenario here. Everybody's in for themselves. Now, did they randomize you? Because I don't think you were the same person we had before. Not sure they do that. But as you can see, now we're here at the Good Walls. So back out here, essentially, is the labor camp. You have all of these sections. Ooh, water silo. Ooh, the water silo, is that connected to a well? I'm sorry, I'm just kind of nuts about infrastructure. It's a little weird, I know, but kind of the thing about me in a lot of ways when I look at the military and such, it's actually through logistics, which was what I did in the military. In any case, and water is the first supply you have to worry about. It looks like it is a well. So it looks like that these guys are working on an aquifer and wondering, they're probably taking more water out than is being returned into this arid system. So the whole place has unlimited that. But yes, let's talk about what the fuck this is. This is a locust nest area. Now, you can't actually attack them, so they can't actually do much damage to you either. So these are the locusts that showed up in Egypt and somehow transplanted themselves here. So my guess is that the dreamers... Ooh, what's in here? Oh, yeah, this is where they came in from out there. Dreamers have kind of... Remember, they dream reality, so they remember, quote-unquote, these locust types, and they recreated them out of the local. They don't have tentacles, so there's that at least. But, yeah. Bye, guys. And yeah, the fact that you have a sluice tunnel like this, by the way, oh god, even more problems getting in and out. Your security is worthless. Yeah, if you've got a sluice that's this dry, they're using it for garbage disposal, that means you are in drought mode. You can just tell that from the trees and the grass. In fact, anything that has green right here is being specifically watered. Or off shit, which I just, well, lucky it's a hoverboard. Yeah, that's the thing about the waste products here, is that they are literally the only introduction of nutrients for the soil at this point, besides the commercial fertilizer for up there. So, yeah, imagine this must smell like. Thank God this stuff just rolls off of me. I love how they just had the one umbrella here. I wonder who managed to scavenge for that. But yeah, in an imbalance power structure, like between the overseers, the anointed, and the foundlings here, there will be abuse. So whatever you get here, you paid for, and you probably wasn't in a way that maintained your dignity. Because the loss of dignity is one of the biggest things that these systems of... You can call it elitism, privilege, caste, whatever you want to. It's the tiered system of, we've got more power than you do, so we're going to take from you, but in return, the guys above us take above us. Now, this one, we're going to use the scanner and the stolen bracelet we have in order to skip to the next section, which of course is the anointed section. Okay, so first thing you're going to notice is that I love the fact that they have speed limit fines and other stuff that's here from, like, American standards, because this is... And maybe that one would be considered European. But this indicates that this area was supposed to have more traffic. My guess is they're supposed to drive trucks directly up from here, the main road to here, which means all of their deliveries have to go through the foundling section. It's kind of interesting, by the way, because that's a system of vulnerability for moving of resources when you Yeah, you guys have been here so long, you've been so brainwashed. That's one of the reasons, by the way, they have the 1,000-point system. If you do the 1,000-point system, if you do those chores, like kind of the numbers on this, day by day, you're going to be out there for probably 2 to 3 months minimum. So that means that you have 2 to 3 months of being soaking up the dreamer energy before you're allowed in here. And you'll notice that these guys are looking kind of spacier than everybody else because, you know, essentially these anointed are just better fed livestock for the dreamers. Just remember, if you don't know who the, how's the old saying? If you don't know who the mark is, it's you. Anyways, so, yeah. But you notice, by the way, they have the powered by liquid, yeah. Hi. Okay, so, yeah, they're essentially powered by liquid gas and natural gas or other forms of portable petrochemicals in order to produce the air conditioning. But, oh my god, you people can't put your windows together and save some energy? Geesh. I hate its inefficiency. I respect the bad guys who actually, you know, mind budget. Smoke break. It's universal everywhere. Anyways, yeah. So as you can see, while the walls are smaller and you can simply walk over them to get out there, they're really still kind of confining you. I mean, yeah, you're in a better class of pen and you've got a decent view. And that's cool, I guess, but you can also see the mansion up there looming. I would have loved to have checked out the grounds on that thing. I suppose it's a way to save, you know, processing power, but as you can see, the compound itself. All right, first we have the print shop. Now, if you remember, first of all, a standard cult has to produce propaganda. You know, it doesn't matter if it's religious, political, economic, entertainment. They must keep the stuff going out so people keep the idea, the mimetic construct of what you represent in there constantly, like these posters, for example, that constantly remind people in old Soviet style that they should be part of an organization that commands them to do something. Man, these are old school, by the way, which would actually make sense if you think about it, to use the older stuff that still has parts available in a second world country like South Africa. Well, that's... I don't know if I've got the right to call them second world right now from America. But, yeah. With a few... Oh, God, laser printer. That's an old one. Oh, my God. The teletype? Yeesh. Anyways. So, yeah. So, these guys are constantly producing them. And again, with the South African flag. Who's the nationalist around here? But the other thing to remember is that the filth is a mimetic plague. Actually, they could be using filth in the ink to produce these things, which would make sense why they're doing them on site. Almost all printing like this is done off-site through a contractor. For example, it'd be far easier to ship this, to have this stuff shipped than produced in the country it's meant to go to, such as America, England, or South Korea, in the 3 usual that we use, or even anywhere in the world, than it would be to do here and ship it out. But instead, what they need is they're doing so the physical material of the filth itself can be burrow into people's heads through what you read. Yeah. Keep that in mind, that memetics is an actual science and not just a metaphysical concept. You are essentially a piece of information living in the neural structures of your mind. So therefore, information taken in will alter it. And some people know how to mess with that. Anyways, so the call center. Talking about transmitting the message, here's where they're doing it verbally. Now, the thing is about call centers is, of course, these are standard and have been since 19... Oh, God, no. Manager's office. It's quieter in here. As you can see through here... Oh, nice clock. Seriously, though, what's with the decor here? There's more decor than most apartments, and the manager doesn't even seem to stay in here. So my guess is it's all just designed to show that she has more power. There's an interesting concept that in urban structures, what happens is that the more space you can waste, the more you're displaying how powerful you are. And this person here, or more accurately, the organization she represents, didn't know Sidious was part of their religion, has the power to waste, so everybody else is living in a tin shack, or in his case, well, barracks is probably the best way to describe it. We'll get to those in a moment. But yeah, the thing is that, the tape reels are kind of an interesting thought, but you know why they're here. I made jokes about this earlier. Now, the real reason is you can't hack them. Seriously, they're an antiquated form of data, and there's no way a modern hacker can get into them. And it actually beats just using file folders, which is the other option, or keeping your systems offline entirely. But yeah. Oh God, no. Oh God, what do we have?
A higher income and more rewarding.
Yeah, there we go. Prosperity God gospel, telling you what you need to hear so long as they can keep you on the line. Now that's just to try to break down your resistance for selling in most cases. But in this world, it's to have this filth-infected individual to be whispering in your ear and telling you, you just need to let us in. Let us in. I actually can't read these, but it's kind of really... I can't believe there's 2 duplicates, guys. You know, it's one small asset. You can't do better than that. I'd like to think that these guys have, like, bake sales. Because, you know, like, even when the systems begin to...
They teach self-actualization. To suck out the poison our culture pumps into us, and... Are you even listening?
Calling his mother, her mother. I missed that idle conversation. Interesting. But yeah, the thing is that mother keeps calling her. But yeah, to put it into your system and then have it spread like a mind virus. Now, Richard Dawkins went into how he considers religion to be a mind virus that infects people because it works the same dynamics. One person gets religion and then passes it on to others. But he really... Oh God, I have to get out of here. Hang on. Oh God, I'll be in here, guys. Yeah, there's the modern server, by the way, because you really can't run an entire system on this. I've actually worked with this tape in an... Oh God. It took 2.5 hours just to compile simple JPEG messages, and this was in the 1980s when that was the cutting edge. No, that wasn't cutting edge back then. We still had, you know, silicon wafers at this point, but a lot of the old satellite data was actually stored on this stuff way back when. But yeah, in any case, you know, this is probably one of the coolest rooms in the entire area, and no one ever bothered to insulate, because the computers are more important than people to them. Keep that in mind. Whatever your environment, whatever you're in, will tell you the mindset of the person who created it, if you pay attention. But yeah, what they do is they get you in, and a person that's infected by the dreamer talks to you longer and longer and longer, hoping to pass that memetic virus of that. But as Richard Dawkins, like I said, his anti-religious bias makes him only concentrate on the religious one, but all forms of memetic structure, religion, economics, politics, all of it is a thought in your head. I mean, we have borders, we have, you know, uniforms, we have flags, we have religious texts and buildings of churches and everything, and non-governmental organizations and nonprofits, but all of them are literally an idea made manifest in the world. And what they do is try to propagate their idea further into more people's minds. This is a cult, which is an example of the probably most toxic version of that. I don't think there's actually a really great version of it. And a lot of people who are reformers, who kind of use that system to install a better concept into other people. And that's why we have revolutions, wars, and, well, the squabbling that is the internet. Alright, so, alright guys, breaking 5, I'm going for a smoke. Alright, so, hey! Food storage. I told you, by the way. The Anointed do not deal with whatever stuff. They've got steak, then possibly salmon, which is really pricey these days considering how low the population is. They've got all the canned stuff they want to. They've got, you know, flour and rice. And hey, it looks like they do actually have to eat some of that maize, which I suppose saves the budget slightly. Although these guys are probably freaking sick of it. But again, guys, the windows, can you imagine the flies in this area? Especially since flies are associated with filth. The fact that they aren't here, it's got to be metaphysical. Anyways, yeah.
Welcome.
Kitchen duty. I remember it. Anyways, yeah, I was in the military, and the problem is that they kept putting me in the really shitty tasks because I was only really good at them. Pointed out this is kind of like a punishment, guys, for being competent. In any case, yeah, they eat well, they sanitize well, they won't get as sick. Although I have not seen medical around here, so that's one benefit apparently you don't get. Anyways, the suspicious device thing, I never really got that mission, by the way. Just basically, oh yeah. Talking about medics, one of the biggest things to do in medics is to put up symbols. This is why tyrants and religious figures put up icons of theirs, because they become focus of the mimetic structure. In this case, it's Marquard basically taking the savior role, normally taken by individuals such as Muhammad or Jesus in their respective religions. This case, Marquard's trying to substitute that image in these people's heads. And since they've been Dreamer exposed for so long, yeah, it's working. These guys are really developing the group mind. There's a lovely video about how cults produce a group mind and even paranormal connection and events occurring within the people that are connected as such. Oh, done by a British magician whose name escapes me, and if I remember to do so, I will put the link up there. But he will go into, he has a 2-part video about, 3-part video. I remember you. Anyways, so yeah, that was the thing. Now, okay, the warehouse we can get into. Here's the transport trucks. And here, that's Riley's voice, by the way. They're reusing the VA. So yeah, this is how the containers get in. And they must have the supplies that for these guys, for example. Now, let's talk about what Mark Strokes, because he's kind of a minorly disappointment. When you finish the... Hi. Didn't mean to interrupt. When you finish the main quest... Yeah, the thing, once they take away a privilege like clothing and then give it back to you, you kind of feel like you're earned something at your... Oh, this is my place. And the explosive gift basket, I do love that. Temporal reset, everyone. This you, Mark. You got next door. Great. Yeah, Mark Strakes. Mark Strakes gets you a text and he tells you to come over and help him out, and it turns out he's just a vendor. If you wanted to know what these things are here for, by the way. Yeah, the only real good thing about this is you can get a decent distillate for just 5 of these, and if you really want to blow your, if you're not the sort that's going to be using your agents as such to be able to get your distillate, and you want to get a decent supply of it, this is a good place to do so. You can spend the ones you can do so, and if you really do feel like getting a pet, you can, or a witch doctor outfit, which problematic. Mask of Eternal Patience. It's a frowny mask, isn't it? Anyways, so yeah, he just comes over here and he gives you one mission, which technically is still on, called Dead Drop, which is to find a random folder in this entire facility. And then they tell you that, you know, congratulations, you're down to Africa. Disappointment, really. The thing is that he kind of saying they really do not want to finish this game. That's like the same way that Valve will never make Half-Life 3.
What do you want?
I want to... okay, Shay. Alright, so remember, due to the time window thing, even after Shay betrays us, we come to the day beforehand, and because we're locked in time, we can't, like, kill him right now or mess with his head, and even if we did so, that would technically violate our issues, because then he wouldn't be around to save us. So we've got to let him go unpunished, and just wait for, oops, sorry about that, karma to do its thing. But, you know, he does have conversation options. And honestly, I want to hear his point of view. Now, we know that we can't trust anything that comes out of his mouth. And essentially this entire mission, I've just been waiting for him to betray us. It was actually kind of a light betrayal. I'll give him that much. He did get us into the compound, even though Quad isn't there, and we did do some usefulness by tagging the, oh god, we'll get into him later, the guy who's so important I can't remember his name and has shown up twice in this plot, here and in Egypt. But let's get to this.
I believe that change must happen, that we either initiate it or be at its fucking mercy. But the Morninglight and Markad, I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, so this is kind of where he's coming from. But first of all, let's remember something. If you pay attention to the lore, you'll find out that Beaumont, aka Loki, is the one who basically pulled him out of the gutter and gave him a purpose in life. So he's going to be the individual that he patterns off the most. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice that the model here and Marquard's, the way he has his hair and such, I mean, not Marquard's, Loki's is somewhat similar. So he's technically taken Loki as a father figure. Now, Loki is, of course, a betrayer, so he's a betrayer as well. But he would tell himself, of course, Loki would never betray me. The thing is, Loki never got the opportunity because we took him down, and he's currently in Illuminati custody in a asylum, which won't last long. Loki always escapes. And the thing is, of course, is that Jay has, in fact, been sucking up so much streamer energy. Now, he thinks there must be change because he doesn't like the fact that he's a normie in the secret world. If you talk to him in Kingsmith, he goes on and on about how we think we're so special because we have all of this power, and he doesn't. It's envy, nothing more than that. It's one of the reasons why he messes with us. And by the way, he's wearing the Serpent of Chaos as an image. I'm inside. Could you leave me alone? It's Serpent of Chaos on his shirt there, which is probably an allegiance to, Chaos. Now, Loki is supposedly compromised by the Dreamers. Probably is. But Loki's also been an agent of change in mythology. So when the mantle is no longer worn, it will slide onto the most appropriate person. And I do believe that Loki's mantle of being Chaos, the changer of the ways, by sheer mischief and without a plan, has fallen to Che.
The big man, the Christ of the mutating mysteries, I can point you in the right direction. But if you really want to cross him, you'd better be sure, hero. See, long time ago, I flipped the bird to both God and the devil, told him to sit and spin. But I still believe in Philip Markad. And he terrifies me.
Yeah, true, God and the devil are an abstract concept, but Philip he can see, smell, hear, probably see the raw power. Remember, he binds demons to him. So, yeah. Just by thinking about it, he's literally not much more than a puppet of the Dreamers. Basically, the Dreamers have filled up a Marquard-sized hole inside the body of Marquard, and they speak through it. So, yeah, the nuclear family we were fighting before are just his consorts. He is going to be a lot tougher. Assuming we ever fight him. I mean, technically, that would be the culmination of the Congo. We fight Marquard and take him down. Because I also go into the epilogue, which I will hopefully be able to do relatively soon. We know, like I said over and over again, from 2040, the world's still here in 2046 from Moans of Madness, because that's set in the same timeline. But we don't know how it all happened. Now, the Morninglight needs to be locked down, and it makes sense that we were the ones to lock down Marquard and prevent him and the Morninglight, because the only loose and remaining, from exasperating situation in Tokyo. And then we pretty much know from the original Secret World canonical ending, which is not canonical for the Secret World Legends, again, the epilogue, that the breach will be sealed and things will go on, if not normal, at least functional. So, tell me about the camp.
Nostalgia trip being back here. I was so green. Freshly saved from the puddle of my own piss.
I think he's going to go to Beaumont about this.
I came in a foundling and advanced to anointed. You learn to live simple. Remove the distractions. Meditation. Whole foods. Tune out the screams and the sound of crawling things at night.
Mm-hmm. By removing all distractions, you force a person to focus on a singular thing. It works either for a cult or for, say, a religion. For example, the monasteries and nunneries. Yes, I think it's the right word. And the nunneries of the Catholic religion, for example, are Catholic. Technically, I think it's a right pronunciation in some places. They do that in order so they focus only on God, which, of course, is supposed to increase their faith and their ability to work in God's name. Of course, in a cult, it's to align themselves to Philip Marquardt.
The announcers from the speakers, at first, they're saying some pretty trite stuff. But then you appreciate it. You keep listening and it goes deeper. Sometimes at 3 a.m. the voice is just saying gibberish. But slowly, slow as the crops growing in the field, that earworm word salad takes on cadence and meaning. And you know, by breakfast time, you can't put it into words to your friends, but you fucking know.
Ah, there's the memetics I was talking about. This is an actual science. It's originally started off in MK Ultra in the United States. Other countries had their own times. But they realized how to control people by using these sort of subliminal messages within communications and media. Still doing it, by the way. If you're not paranoid, you're not paying attention. But the trick about that is they use specific images and sounds just below your threshold to manipulate your subconscious into working in ways that you want them to. So that is... And the mass media has just given them the ability to broadcast to virtually everyone in the entire world. You're wondering why the world's so messed up? It's because some of those seeds they were laid in have hatched, grown.
Fucking John. He just called me out of the blue. Haven't seen that kid since we got blasted and watched American TV at the Love Hotel in Kaiden. Don't look at me like that. You get stoned in Los Angeles, you watch anime. You get stoned in Tokyo, you watch Buffy, the fucking vampire slayer.
Didn't realize that was kind of a thing. But yeah, whatever isn't in your own cult... Jay, I'll give you this, you're clean. Discipline. It's probably one of the reasons why you can function after...
Harbingers of change.
Although you do keep repeating the damn shit. So he's not too free of the influence. Oh, God. They're working. See, one of the reasons they keep doing this. Oh. Seriously? I forgot about that mission. They had that mission afterwards as well, where you track down the signal of somebody and he tries to kill you. You know, not really a mission, just to kill. Anointed. But yeah, as you can see, if you really come down to it, the structure, it's pretty much the same stuff. Although, guys, seriously, put your IKEA back together better. It's as you had in the Foundlings, but it's just more secure walls and slightly cleaner, and you know, still pretty much marking you as somebody who doesn't have power, who's literally just being, as they say, you might not be at the bottom, but you are so far from the top. And as we were talking about the top, there it is. Now, we all know it's just a flat image up there because we don't actually get to see it. But yeah, this would be where Marquardt holds court. The whole point of becoming an anointed is to get closer to the mansion, to get closer to Marquardt and the centers of power. But it's just as far if you guys were in the other end, at the shack nearest the gate. You're never getting through that gate unless you have you are of use to Marquardt. And if you are of use to Marquardt, you may no longer be of use to anyone else afterwards. Remember, the screaming he talked about at night happens every night. And when we come back, I will be dealing with what happens at night. Hang on a second.
Welcome.
And welcome to South Africa After Dark. Yeah, this is what happens when you use the pillow on either your place where you sleep here in your little shack or up there in your barracks to switch to the night. Now, you'll notice, by the way, immediately, and you knew if you're watching the missions, that the place is crawling with monsters and has bloodstains everywhere. Now, the reason why the monsters are running amok is not because security has been breached. Yeah, they come in and out of all of these, all the holes in the wall or the sewer systems, and you've yourself kind of wondering why they're allowed to run amok like this and why they don't eat more foundlings. You forget that Philip Marquardt has them all bound to his power. Remember, he bound the blind giants to it. You notice they're all positioned exactly where people would come in and out of their place, where they would be. Excuse me, guys, busy. Now, that did not go well for any of us. Now, did it? Sometimes people just don't learn. They're positioned where you have primary accesses in and out of these compounds. They're designed to keep people within their facilities, and they're told never come out after night. And what happens, the reason is Marquand tells them to guard these zones. I mean, they're not hunting, they're just watching. They're being a second set of guards, and if anybody walks out, however, they're fair prey. Kind of wonder if you could see people sleeping. No. The thing is, the devs didn't think to put if you can see through the windows. Hello? Stay in there. Yes, security. Yeah, I mean, even this one. Is it unoccupied? Did they break in on the door? Decide that the McQuad, screw McQuad because he's not around? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Dust. Anyways, yeah. And the thing is that they have enough of these well-lit zones so that you can see what's going on. I mean, people who just look out the window are going to see these monsters, but they're not going to want to see these monsters. They're the legendary creatures of the African mythology, but they're serving and bound to a more traditional hermetic style power. In other words, using them essentially as slaves. Now, this is what I find interesting, is if you head over, let's see, I think it's over here. If you head over to the Locusts are at this point, they get a lot more aggressive, which makes me think that the Dreamer's powers are naturally more powerful at night, which is why they only really manifest.
Special assignment
Yep, see,
received.
now they're actually
Initializing.
attacking you. Sorry about that. Oh, that was quick. Anyways. Also, it's an endless battle. So if you want to stop it, you need to walk out. Anyways, so yeah. Anyways, if you're looking for the quick kills, you want to get to your 50, it's a good place to do so. In fact, the whole place right here, if you're just grinding, you can get as many minor missions as you want to on both night and day. You can do all the 6 that you want to get for your second set of challenges and do them here. But as you can see, essentially these just replace the human guards. Not only are they supposedly more effective, because you'd have to put guards out here with night vision and such, and stop evil from leaving, they are a display of power. And the one thing about keeping control in any situation like this is to display that you have power. You must keep displaying that you have power. Marquand must still be the untouchable messiah figure. He cannot be allowed to show any form of weakness. Now, let's just... Guys, there's supposed to be like a thing here. They remove it at night? Oh, that just sucks. But, you know, we have other options. Let's go check it out. I think it's funny, by the way, that the port in this area is in the storeroom, but hey, it's going to keep your food in better shape, at least. But as you can see, there are no monsters in this area here. All you have are... You can have people out here smoking. That is the thing about the Anointed, is that they're considered to be so brainwashed, so under control, that they don't require it. But you can still hear them in the distance, and Marquand could at any point simply... Now, this doesn't look shady. Could simply release them. I mean, look, lights on. I mean, frankly, I'm surprised you guys don't have like a volleyball. I'd have put a volleyball net there. Seriously. A cheerful lighting and such. You're not living... Essentially, it's a separation between the caste system of the foundlings, laborers, and the anointed middle managers with the, of course... Now, of course, you've got this.
Please move away from the wall.
But yeah, if you may not notice it when we did the mission... a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, this is the distraction that Shaper does. He does a car bomb. Yeah, he's old school anarchist, I can tell you that much. But yeah, now the way to get into the other section up here is to, of course, get that. I don't think I can actually do that without being on the mission, but let me double check.
Bye.
See if bye. Somebody asks why I'm running around in a Halloween costume on a hoverboard. That lack of curiosity, it just desperately means that they are not. Yeah, the rope isn't here. And the section up there is kind of gone over, and the mission is being research facilities and a secret passage to the manor house. But one of the things we can do is we can... Let's see, hang on. Oh, where is it? Oh, give me a second. Okay, so quick one to note here. Now, you're going to notice that every single facility that you visit during the day is closed with a single exception. That is, of course, the call center. Because the call center, of course, is operating on the entire globe. It's basically spreading the love, as it were, constantly. What's really great here is that they even thought to replace the manager. Now, what's really funny about him is that you can't even interact with him. He's the night shift manager, and I think the Dreamers have eaten everything behind his eyes. But, yeah, whoever night shift managers are kind of just considered to be warming up the chair for the day kind. I've had to work those type of hours before. And
Good
they don't...
afternoon.
But as you can see, everybody keeps going because, again, those Dreamers get the stuff out. Now, it's really funny, by the way. You remember how I said this place is supposed to be safer? Oh, there it is off in the distance. Turns out sometimes that's not the case. Can you imagine how many people this thing has eaten? As the locust that just basically flew over the walls and get down here, because you can't... This thing's not bound by Merquad. This thing's gonna is a predator, and I'll do these guys a favor. You know, I do get experience for it. Let's shift back to an offensive one. Cool. Summon bug. And boom. Okay, yeah. There's some of these are let's see, how many do I have left anyways? Chittering Plague we just got. We've got Marinka's Devotion. I should check that out at some point. Yeah, I've actually considered at some point, if I ever do a third character for whatever reason, get another 1,000 Aurum by grinding away, I will do a Monster Hunter version, where after Lore Hunter it'll be basically going over the optional mini bosses each area has and what they say about yourself. So, that being said, let me get under some decent light. That being said, however, this is pretty much where the interludes for the main story end. And if at any point Funcom creates the Congo one, I will do it in a heartbeat, but they're not there, and they don't say any sign of being there. Now, I will do additional interludes. The epilogue, there's the epilogue for the main series, which will be the last episode, unless, of course, Congo do so. But the bonus episodes that are unlocked at every 25 and 75, although I may slow that down as other priorities open up for the channel, those will continue. And I still have to go over the hubs, the other factions, some of the scenario, the few other bits and pieces. Any seasonal episodes, of course, will come up if they manage to bring them back. Unfortunately, this year for the Halloween one, they brought back the same they did the last 2 years, so I don't see a lot of hope for that. We'll see. But it's not over quite yet. But any additional episodes will be over here on the Interludes playlist, not on the wars. And they may not be in order, for example. If I do the hub and the faction ones, I'll probably put back at the top, because this list goes in narrative order, not in literal order of episodes recorded. But I hope you have enjoyed this series. And again, we'll be taking quite a break for a while, visiting every now between other series. It's always a bit of a favorite, and I'll probably keep grinding at it. And if there's enough interest in it, the Exclusion Zone mission requires 10 people. So maybe we'll get together with a fantastic cult assault on Cthulhuzilla in Times Square, but can't promise it. Might happen. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, like, share, subscribe down below. And, of course, if you really like it, down below are links to the Gumroad payment platform. And to let you know, there's 3 levels of supporter, $1, $2, and $5 ones, each with their own bonuses. And they also give you additional votes, because we are coming to the point where we'll be voting on the new series. Because as this series ends, we're going to have to replace it with the next one. And that vote will be coming up very shortly if you're watching this in real time. In addition, of course, there is bonus material for supporters, but we are $3. We passed the 3rd supporter goal recently. Oh my god, that was quick, and I love you guys for it, because honestly, I've been shocked by the level of support for this channel, and it is awesome. But that only puts us $3 away from the 4th stretch goal, which will be an entire new series. As it is in November at this point, there will be 3 additional bonus episodes, all of them voted on by supporters. But if we get to the 4th goal, then there will be a new series unlocked, which will take up the Monday slot for good. Essentially, we'll be running 3 series simultaneously, although one of them is probably going to be Cultist Simulator / Darkest Dungeon. Sorry, until the foreseeable future. But in any case, that is the future. We are here now, and we will see where we will go. I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank my Acolyte level supporters, whose contributions help this channel grow and hastens the inevitable digital apocalypse and rise of the Dark Lords of content and data. That is One Big Moon.
You will see the dawning of a new age. To be a monarch or a beggar. To lose everything or to become a god. To stand with us or against us. The choice is yours.